Namaste, beautiful yogis. We are chatting today about beauty and beauty standards. I made a splash, not really, but last week I posted something about fake beauty on Instagram and it got quite a bit of response. So I decided I wanted to write an article, but let's face it, I'm a really busy mom and I can't quite edit an article, so I will just talk about beauty standards because this is probably one of the most common questions I get, or things that people reach out to me about. It's dealing with self-image and dealing with their own sense of self-worth. It's the lighting. Their own a sense of self-worth based on the beauty standards in our society. I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and it just hit me in my face. It was just a bunch of images of unachievable images of women. Unless you are willing to put yourself through a lot of pain, then you can't achieve an image of a Barbie doll, size 0, massive breasts and so forth. So I wanted to address this because in my line of work I basically mostly discuss this with people reach out to me about their self-worth the most out of any other thing. How do we deal with our self-image in a world where the world is just we're conditioned by media to understand beauty through the face of the magazines and through the understanding of the magazines. So I wrote a little article that I would love to kind of go over, and also I receive emails a lot about this. So I will read one of the emails and kind of respond to it, and then we'll talk about it. But basically I'll go over the article. See, a couple people have joined in. I just will get started now and we'll continue. So today I will read an article that I meant to post in a written form, but we're gonna do it in a chat form. Who told you you need to be beautiful? This is the name of my article. I just wanted to see where this whole thing started. How did you decide? How did we decide that we need to be beautiful, or what beauty is? Where did that get ingrained in us? So basically, whomever told you that you need to be beautiful? When did this started? When did we get started with that? So pause for a second. Few people joined in. Hi. Pause for a second and go back into your childhood, or go back in time and think, when did you decide that you need to be beautiful? When did it become mandatory for you or a needed thing for you? Whoever told you you need to be beautiful and then define beauty for you? And because we have such a twisted idea about beauty in our society, that's the trouble we get into. We first have in our head that we need to be beautiful, and then from the outside we get explained what beauty is, and we have to reach that unachievable standard of beauty. How do beauty standards begin? So whomever told you that you need to be beautiful, no, really, pause. Think, who told you that you need to be beautiful? Where did it start? How did you decide that you absolutely must be beautiful, that that's some requirement for self-worth or for other people to value you as a human being, as a soul? How did you decide that beauty is some form of a requirement? Where did this idea come into your consciousness, and who defined beauty for you? Think about it. Where did the definition of beauty in your head started? Who defined it for you? All right, let's talk about society. We live in this was an article that I wrote, and it's a little straightforward, so bear with me. I will be straightforward with you today. We live in a sick society. We live in a sick world. Think ancient Rome before its fall. The economic system is corrupt. The healthcare, let's call it industry or business, is destroyed, there seems to be a strange cabal of individuals controlling our destiny, steering us not in the right direction. And no one seems to care. And people's values are based on strange things. People's values are based on shallow things. If you go and look around the magazines and TV commercials and popular Instagrams, you will see where people's values are. The Kardashians have Kim Kardashian has 103 million followers, and people consider her beautiful. So that is our standard of beauty, comes from social media, and we basically raise girls in this environment of fake beauty standards that are not achievable. And even if they're achievable, that require a lot of pain for a girl to go through everything she puts herself through so that she can achieve some unnatural beauty standard. So as a mom now of a girl, to me that comes to mind. I always wanted to rebel what I was told I need to do. So if I was told that I need to be beautiful, I would just feel that I need to do something else, because that's my nature. I like to rebel. But a lot of women are not rebellious. They just feel that they have to fit in, and basically fit into that standard that is defined for them. So I'm not criticizing the girl that is trying to make it. I'm not criticizing the girl that's trying to get a rich husband, that's trying to be successful, that's trying to be a model. No, she is trying to play the game by the rules, and some of those girls are very successful. Some of them don't even get messed up, but the truth is that most girls actually get messed up. Sorry. So there is a lot of internal struggle that goes into trying to be beautiful in a world that is requiring from you to be fake in order to be beautiful. So I'm not criticizing the girls that are supposedly fake, because I posted something on Instagram where the girl got attacked. I reposted a picture of a girl that was a size 0 with really massive breasts and just with fake lips and done nose. And to me, I don't have anything against her. She looks beautiful to me. The problem comes when a lot of women have to live up to that standard, and they go through a lot of pain, because to become this, it requires a lot of risky surgery. So we have to pause and think, what have we accepted in our life as beautiful, and what we have agreed to, because we as a society, we form the collective conscious, and we form the standards. We, all of us, are responsible for everything. And the girls that make it on the beauty pageants, they're not to be criticized, because they're just trying to fit in society. They're just, if they try to change the rules, that will require a lot of it can be very isolating and painful. It's a painful process to rebel, basically. So most people just play by the rules. But what can we do? Because women are expected to be Barbies in our culture, and size 0 is expected to be just something that makes you beautiful or something. So what are we supposed to do? What is our power? It's redefining beauty, basically. It's redefining what we consider beautiful, and also redefining our values and standards, and who we support. Who we support in this world. Basically, we're talking about beauty today. I'm just experimenting with, I think I finally figured out how to do videos in this format, so one step forward. And we're talking about beauty because I really wanted to post an article. We had a big discussion on Instagram, on my Instagram, a few weeks ago. Here it's 100 degrees, by the way, so I'm sweating. It's terrible. It's the hottest day of the year, really. And I figured I will use the moment to just create a video about beauty standards, and I'm trying to follow my timeline here about beauty so that I can get done with my point. So basically 103 million people are following Kim Kardashian on Instagram, and when you look at the things that are popular in our society, it's just things that are sad about our culture. How did we ever allow this to happen? how did we as society agree to this to happen? Why did we agree to it, and why are we allowing it to happen? Why are we supporting it? How are we supporting it? By basically following those accounts, by agreeing to them, by putting ourselves through all this to just fit in. Basically, what can we do? Is there something we can do? When we live in an ignorant society with a corrupt government, and so basically people are occupying themselves with minute things, with minute details. People are occupying themselves with, for example, the Me Too campaign. Not that it's not important, it is very important, but we're not changing anything. We're just getting our guard down when we just participate in socially engineered campaigns, while more important things are happening in the world, or more important bills are passed in Congress. So what we need to pay attention is that there is always, the way things work is problem, reaction, solution. We're presented with a problem. These people that create the problem, they expect a certain reaction, and they offer a solution. So the way we get all drawn into these campaigns on Facebook like Me Too is because we're emotional beings. We're emotional beings, and when we're presented with emotional dilemmas, we all jump in, and we wanna, through our compassion, we wanna participate. Namaste. So what we can do is the things we can do in order to rebel in a world that's based on fake corrupt values and fake beauty standards. The first thing we can do is, what do you think we can do in order to change things? It is, the first thing we can do is, we're talking about inner revolution, revolution of the mind. The first thing we can do is boycott. That is the most powerful thing an individual can do, is boycotting. Basically, boycotting is one of the most powerful tools that you have, the tool of boycott. Hello, we're talking a little bit, it's a little bit of a heavy subject. It's beauty standards, and why do we consider beautiful what we consider beautiful? How did this whole thing started, that we consider a super fake image of an unachievable beauty image? How did this come about to be what we consider beautiful? And all women strive for that. It's very difficult to achieve something unachievable, right? So everybody struggles, basically. Yes, exactly. Boycott and be an example of natural beauty. That is it. And inner revolution. Those are the two tools that we have: boycotting and inner revolution of the mind. Not revolting on the squares, not going out in the streets and just protesting. No, that leads to nothing. Revolution of the mind, raising your consciousness, which in turn will raise the collective conscious. You can change the world by changing yourself and not participating in a sick society. And the more we participate, the more we strengthen that culture of sickness and fakeness. And it's sad because when a few days ago I posted a photo of a very fake beautiful woman, and people either hated me for posting it and said I'm being hypocritical, or they hated the girl, and that wasn't my point. She's just participating. She in some ways she doesn't have a choice because she needs to be successful in the world, and she's just playing by the rules. She's beautiful, she's enhanced, etc. It's not about hating the person that's part of society. It's society that's setting the tone, and we're all responsible. So what we can do is boycott, and in a revolution of the mind, grow, internally grow. So that's the point of my article. I'm not trying to criticize society and just leave you hanging there with nothing. There is nothing to do about it. No, there is so much we can do on a personal level to change the culture we live in, and it starts from within. Everything starts from within. That's why we work on ourselves. That's why we know who we are, or try to learn who we are, because that is the only way to really, really change everything, within and without. I will read an email I got. Should I do that? Hi Ali, my name is this and that, and I'm writing from this and that city. About 2 weeks ago, I read your post about the perspective of the female beauty standards, and I completely agree with you. I've lived that myself. I've been there. It has affected me to the point of wondering why I was alive, why I wasn't good enough, and why I couldn't look like those fit and perfect bodied girls from the pictures in the media. I'm 24 years old, and when I was in junior high, boys used to make fun of me like a bullying thing for being overweight and having legs the size of tree trunks. I couldn't help compare myself to those groups of pretty skinny and fashionable girls back in those days. I grew up with that and became somehow obsessive towards eating healthy, exercising, avoiding fast food, sugars, etc. During my late teenage years, my body changed. I wasn't as overweight as before, and in the past 2 years, I lost more weight to the point of being in my appropriate ideal weight because I exercise more, eat better, and probably the stress of life and in my relationship adds up. You may wonder now why I'm writing all of this to you. I have a point. I think what you addressed in your post is entirely related to the visually sexualized media that is consumed by society, mainly by men. This is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TV, and almost everything is cramped in almost unreal women portraying a beauty standard that I feel men crave. Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong to have a body like those and show it and enjoy it. If so, you desire as an individual woman, but one thing is that and another is to use it as a means, wherever the reason is. I believe that all that is deeply rooted in our society to the point in which it is seen as something normal. Exactly. It is normal to say they're men, they always look at women, it's okay because men are like that, it's their nature, men are allowed to do that, why not, it doesn't matter, let men be. They're men. I'm only focusing on men. I know women are also attracted to hot men. Women are attracted to hot women as well, meaning we all strengthen that image by participating in it. We all are part of the problem by not growing and changing internally. But I think it's not the same compared to what men do. I'm addressing this issue because it has become an obstacle in my life and in my relationship. It's existential. In my current relationship, I've argued and forth about my boyfriend's following, liking, loving, and looking, staring to other women that are not me. It's become a great issue between us, and haven't been able to understand his arguments. He says I'm not doing anything bad. I like or love. To picture or looking or following doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter because those women are not real. You're real and I'm with you. How come you continue focusing on that and on what we've shared together, what we've done together, etc.? So how can you compare? After our first fight, he stopped following like hundreds of followers. We stopped being friends on Facebook. So she's saying she doesn't look, and why men look, and how does she value herself through all of why does she value herself through and 1 second. Alright, so the point that she makes is that she values herself based on how she looks and that she cannot reach a standard. And that is an email that I get constantly. That is, I understand that we are all capable of judging attractiveness, but it's a decision you make. You may decide to all. So it has nothing to do with the other women. It really has nothing to do with how beautiful they are or what your boyfriend looks at. It just really has nothing to do with anything outside of you. And that's the entire point, that we have to change internally what we consider beautiful and be confident with what we are. We have to redefine what we consider beautiful. So in the beginning of this talk, I had a meditation, or I asked you to stop, pause, and ask yourself, how did you define beauty for yourself? Who defined it for you? How did you decide what's beautiful? And also, who told you you need to be beautiful? Why? Why you need to be something in particular? So those are questions that you just have to pause and think about, because we just assume that we need to all be, if we're women, we all need to fit into some particular, very narrow standard of beauty. And I will finish reading my own article and we'll wrap it up. So just I want to kind of test this format basically. I'm not here to be positive about, so you will say to me, but Ali, you're not being positive, you're being negative. I'm not here to be positive about the sex society. There is times to be positive and times that we need to be truthful, groundbreaking, or forward thinking. There are times that call for sheepishness, which is following whatever we're told we need to follow, and times that call for a revolution. I'm not asking you to revolt and go protesting in a square. I'm simply inviting you to question all the beliefs that you adopted from outside in a broken society, in a broken educational system, and in a culture which the corporate interests are defining your standards. Hey, baby. Advertisement defines your needs and beliefs and morals and values. And I'm asking you to basically start re-evaluating your beliefs and truths. That's beauty to me. Those roles.
I think you meant my roles.
I'm asking you to awaken to your own truth and begin an inner revolution. It is me wanting to create a change in the beliefs we have adopted from outside of us. I want to see a change in our collective ideas of what's truth and what we value. Was there a time in your life when you looked in the mirror? This is big here. Pause and listen. Was there a time in your life when you looked in the mirror and your heart expanded and you said to yourself, yep, that's me and I like me. I'm good with me. It is enough to just be me. Hell, it's bomb to be me. Was there a time in your life when you paused, looked in the mirror and said, yeah, I'm good with this. That's good. That's totally what I want. Was there a time in your life for that? Was there a time in your life when you weren't told from outside what you believe in, but you actually created your beliefs from here? You just dropped all the preconceived notions, all the things people told you you're supposed to be. Was there a time you were just like, no, all of that chatter from outside, it's nonsense. I'm gonna define from within what I need to be in this world. And sometimes that is not something that it just fits in a little box and it's exactly the same as all the same girls that are on social media. It's a completely different look and it's a completely different person, but it's wildly unique and wildly you. So continuing, I want us all to go back in our childhood and remember the time or events that led to us adopting the beliefs of what beauty is and the ideas that we have an obligation to be that beauty. I want us on an individual level to tap into higher truth and start dissolving the beliefs we adopted from outside of us. I would like to see people that are not positive about the sick society, but rather take the rose-colored glasses off and examine things for what they are. Make a stance and begin the process of change. We need to find the truth deep within in our hearts and dissolve the ideas that have been ingrained in us by a capitalist, male-dominated culture. Positivity is another part of a socially engineered agenda to create an obedient and normal society. Overly normal. That's part of the problem. Trying to always be overly normal. You don't step out of the box. Are you ready to look at yourself with the eyes of innocence and start building your belief system from your own inner connection to truth, connecting to your own truth? Are you ready to look at yourself and say, yep, I like exactly what I've seen. That's my idea of beauty. That's my goals. Once you accept yourself, then you're on fire and ready to change the world, ready to change the collective conscious, ready to serve, ready to be free. And the conclusion here is that there is two things you can do to change our messed up society. It is boycotting everything that is just fed to us by either by corporations, by corporate interests, by mainstream media, and so forth. You just stand against it by boycotting those accounts, not giving them more flow, more strength. And also by starting a revolution of the of your belief system, just questioning everything you believe in, because what we believe in, we have to question all our beliefs. They're all beliefs that we've adopted from somewhere. They're not necessarily our beliefs, and we have to question everything, reevaluate, and build our belief system from inside out. So to answer that question, to answer that email, there was an email I read earlier. Unfortunately, she says, this girl, unfortunately, I don't feel I'm enough, even though I know and I've been shown that he loves me and I'm the only person he wants to be with. Those tiny little micro actions of liking, loving, looking, staring at attractive women affect me in such a way that makes me feel diminished, not wanted or compared to. What was that? We had a big old noise here that I've never heard before. So she's asking how she should deal with it. Again, you have to reevaluate what you consider beautiful and why, and build yourself from there. Because once you truly believe that you're beautiful, people will see the same, absolutely the same in you. You're going to reflect what you believe in. So that is it, boycotting and understanding, basically questioning, why did you assume that you have to be a particular look? Where did this start? Go meditate, go back into your childhood, go into the reason why this whole thing started. Where did you adopt those feelings and ideas? And start re-evaluating your belief system. Start boycotting everything you find offensive to your truth, or find that is diminishing your truth. I have a lot of classes on Lotus style, and just go do my Lotus yoga. Go to everything that's reevaluate everything that's diminishing your truth, and build yourself from the inside out, from your inner truth. I think that's it for today. I think I just kind of quickly covered the article. Maybe I'll post the article, and thank you guys. Thank you guys for the comments, and I will see you soon. Oh, you can send it, Jen. It's a long email. I didn't read the entire email, but really, everybody is dealing with that. Basically, valuing themselves from. First of all, we're given an idea of beauty from outside. We adopt it. Then we're given the idea that we must be beautiful in order to have value or to be valued by others. Those two are both ideas that came from outside. And then after that, once we are told what's beauty and that we must be beautiful, then we value ourselves based on that. And then when we see what beauty in the social media is, forget it. No one has self-value, and we become a big process of learning how to love ourselves. And that's the majority of my yoga. People come so that they can find connection to what is actually truly valuable, and to love themselves, because we all are very beautiful, but beauty has been basically what we see in the media is caricatures almost. It's a perversion of beauty, and we are trying to reach that beauty, that caricature of a woman, that perversion of beauty, which is impossible, and we're set for suffering, set up for suffering. So that's the main that is the whole challenge. All right, I thank you for joining today's session, and we'll talk again. You can comment in the comments below if you chime in a little later. This was a little bit discombobulated. It's 104 degrees here, and I just wanted to test this format. Maybe I didn't get to the point immediately today, just because I wanted to test kind of like this format, like a whole format of a video. But I will be doing live workouts, so watch out for those. I'll be announcing them before we do them. I love you guys, and we'll chat soon.